Hello and welcome to What's New, Enhancements to Dataverse and Dynamics 365 integration. My name is Ivan Koletic and I'm a product manager in Business Central team that will take you through this session. Our today's agenda is very small. We're going to talk about how to enable just-in-time synchronization between Dataverse and Business Central. We will also have a look at the bidirectional synchronization of sales orders. We mentioned what are the improvements that the new Dataverse SDK brings to the Dataverse integration with Business Central. And I'll talk briefly about one community project that we have that helps with customizing Dataverse integration. So getting new data or updates to existing data to Business Central quickly is vital in some business scenarios. This is particularly true in scenarios that include integrations to e-commerce systems. Scheduled data synchronization just doesn't meet the bar in today's fast-paced world. This capability enables Business Central to immediately pick up the data that is added or changed in Dataverse or Dynamics 365 for sales. Up until now, we supported just-in-time sync only from Business Central. As we are able to detect when changes happen in Business Central, we can automatically wake up the jobs responsible for synchronization to propagate the changes. That was not the case for the changes that happened on Dataverse or Dynamics 365 sales side. With release Wave 2, 2022, we are actually changing that. You can now get a signal of added, modified, or deleted records in Dataverse from Power Automate. Templated flow calls new Business Central API for Dataverse integration and wakes up scheduled jobs immediately, thus propagating changes to Business Central nearly real time. When doing this, we decided to use Power Automate as it is a more flexible option than doing a custom plugin. Custom plugin approach would require Business Central partners to learn how to write their own, and it would be a more costly solution for the customers. This way, when the integration scenarios change, partner can change integration code only in Business Central if needed, whereas the citizen developer or Power users can easily modify Power Automate flow to make it fit their current needs. Since the new API calls Business Central table, retention policy is set on Dataverse entity changes table, as there is no need to keep the log of change notifications. In case synchronization is already in progress for a specific entity for which you are getting a notification or that is reporting having some changes, the calls to the API will be ignored as the changes will be picked up anyways in the job that is already in progress. So let's switch to a short demo. So let's start by creating a flow that will notify Business Central about changes that happen in Dataverse. The best place to start is from templates, where you can search for notify Business Central. And in here you have the 3 templates for the 3 flows. What I'm interested in, the flow that will notify me of account changes. Let's go ahead and continue. What you see in here, this flow is triggered when the row is added, modified, or deleted in an accounts table in Dataverse. We have some additional settings for filters so that we catch accounts of type customer or accounts of type vendor, which we are interested in. After that, we are actually getting the user information because we want to avoid getting Business Central notified of the changes that the integration user has done, because then we would be just stuck in the loop. And we do that by examining whether the user that we got is actually a Business Central integration user. If it is, we will terminate the flow. If it's not, we want to insert the record in this new API that we created. So we'll pick the environment and we'll pick the company. And we will put the record in Dataverse entity changes in account with the account entity name. Let's just save the flow. And that's it. Before going to Sales Hub and creating and modifying an account, let's have a look at the Business Central's job queue entries, specifically a customer job queue entry. As you can see, this job queue entry is actually scheduled to run tomorrow at 10 o'clock, and it is actually with the status on hold with inactivity timeout. Let me create a new account in Sales Hub, and I'll modify the existing one. Meanwhile, in Business Central, the jobs are started and completed. You can see new and modified customer. Okay, so in summary, what you've seen in here was flow templates that support this scenario, how to set them up, and basically how the flow triggered the just-in-time synchronization based on the change in Dataverse. Every business wants to keep their sellers informed about possible shipment delays, inventory shortages, or other changes to the sales orders that you synchronize between Business Central and Dynamics 365 for sales. Until now, sales order synchronization was done only in one direction, from sales to Business Central. Once sales orders were submitted, it was not possible to update them anymore if something has changed or has been added in Business Central. Since this was a process based on the legacy sales order integration setting in Dynamics 365 for sales, it also had a custom logic for integration that was difficult for partners to extend. With the release wave 2, 2022, you now have a choice of staying with legacy sales order integration or uptake the new bidirectional sales order integration. You can use standard synchronization actions in sales order, get your released sales order synchronized from Business Central as well. And of course, you get submitted sales orders synced back to Business Central. New capability requires sales order archiving for tracking of versions of the sales orders, and developers now can now easily extend sales order integration following the same principles as for other mapped tables. Let's see this in a demo. So we are now in the sales order page in Business Central. As you can see, I have prepared a sales order, added an item and a resource to it. What you can immediately see, there is this new set of actions that are available for bidirectional synchronization of sales orders. However, these actions are actually enabled when the sales order is released. So let's go ahead and release the sales order. And what I can do right now, I can go and say, just set up coupling, say create new, and click OK. And this actually schedules the synchronization of the sales order from Business Central. Let's see if it completes. Okay, it's now done. What you can do is you can actually open the coupled sales order. And as you can see, we have two lines copied to Dynamics 365 for sales. If you look, there's a new view that we prepared, and where you can actually see all the details. This contains actually some of the previous sales orders that I've added in here, but the header of the sales order also contains the information about the Business Central sales order number. What's important to note in here is now if I, for example, go back to my order in Business Central, let's say that we have now went in and we have partially shipped this sales order. Let's say that we are able to ship eight pieces of attendance desks. So let's release. What you can do right now is you can go ahead in here and simply say synchronize. Of course, there is the automation. There is an automatic way of doing it. I'm doing it manually just for the sake of the demo. This is actually going to trigger the synchronization. Let's give it a second. Okay. So we have said quantity to ship. We need to ship it actually. So ship that. Let's Let's go and synchronize once more. Okay, that should be done. Now, if I open the sales order again, for that line that I've shipped, I should have information about 8 pieces shipped. Going back to Business Central, let's say I want to complete the order and just say, let's completely close the order. Let's ship and invoice it. What you must be wondering right now is, once the order is shipped and invoiced, it's actually removed from Business Central. So what is actually Business Central going to sync back to sales? What is interesting is there is actually a background job that runs through the archived sales orders. Let's see who will catch it in here. Archived sales orders probably has run already. And that background job, actually that last snapshot of the order, one just before it was completely shipped and invoiced, is actually going to be picked up from the archived sales orders, and the sales order is going to be updated with the latest state just before shipping. Of course, you can add lines, enter the lines in between, and so on. So this whole logic is actually supported in this. Okay, so in summary, we've seen how to enable bidirectional sales order integration and how to sync orders in both directions between Business Central and sales. The release wave 2 2022 now supports Dataverse SDK version 10. This is important because of a few reasons. SDK now supports .NET Core development. It actually has the latest authentication library called Microsoft Authentication Library. It brings in some performance and other functional benefits. And the most important thing for the end users out there is that we are actually getting more descriptive errors when things go wrong. So no more those organization service faults or something that are very cryptic and don't actually disclose what the real problem is. One last thing I want to talk about is, as you know, today the key information about how to customize the integration or how to add a custom table or a custom field to integration with Dataverse is documented in Business Central. It's live documentation that we strive to update constantly as the integration extensibility points change or we add new additional capabilities. The only problem is it is just documentation, right? So in this area, our community actually stepped in and converted all of that customization walkthrough to a Visual Studio Code extension. This developer productivity tool removes all the grunt work from hitting the right parameters for AL proxy table generator, switching context, copy-pasting sample code, and modifying it to fit your needs. With this VS Code extension, it has a command where you can run the AL proxy table generator directly from VS Code. You can use the visual designer that comes with that VS Code extension within VS Code to pick the tables and fields that you want to map. And based on that, it will just generate the integration customization boilerplate code based on based on this walkthrough that we provide through the docs. And all that's left for a developer in there is to compile and deploy it, and basically you get all the standard Dataverse data synchronization functionality as we have it with the entities that come out of the box with the integration to Dataverse. You get everything from syncing, creating integration tables, and integration table field mappings to UI elements for setting up coupling, uncoupling, synchronization, and so on. Just with a click of a button. So in summary, we are introducing the templated flows that you can use to notify Business Central of changes that happen in Dataverse, thus that actually trigger this just-in-time synchronization. Bidirectional synchronization of sales order is finally here, and we support the version 10 of Dataverse SDK. And important thing is that there is a developer productivity tool for customizing your integrations to Dataverse. Out there in the community, you will see the link on the other slides. In terms of actions, for you to take after this session. By no means try things out, see how they work. Especially try this templated Power Automate flows to get your sort of just-in-time synchronization between Dataverse and Business Central. Try out the bidirectional sales order integration, and of course try out this new VS Code extension for customizing integration to Dataverse. It is hosted on GitHub. It's open for all of you developers out there if you want to contribute to it. So go do that. And here are some other resources that are part of Business Central launch event. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed this session on the improvements we've made to Dataverse and Dynamics 365 for sales integration.